Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everybody had a lovely weekend out there. I did. Nice cool weather here. Hopefully, I imagine some of you people might have gotten a ton of snow, and anyhow, hope you stayed warm and are digging yourself out of that. But today, let's get right to it. I want to talk about variety and gut health on a raw vegan diet and how this affects your immune system as well. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I was listening to a podcast this weekend. I think it was on a podcast called The Exam Room, but it was with Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. Actually, I heard the host say that his name, so I'm learning how to say it. Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, who is the author of Fiber Fueled, that you guys have heard me just go on and on about, talking about. And it was actually on colitis and gut issues. And even though I don't have gut issues, I wasn't listening for any personal knowledge, and I wasn't listening to it to try to help people with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's either, because I just feel like that takes somebody a little bit above my pay grade. But the reason I listen to anything and everything that I can get my hands on that he's on a show or whatever, and I've heard like Rich Roll has a good one, is just because I learn more about the gut, more about the body, and every time I listen to him, I take something away from it. And hey, before I even get started, this, like, you know, I've posted stuff of his on Instagram before, and the Raw is Law people will swoop in. Well, you know, he doesn't eat this and that, and he doesn't promote blah, 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 blah. I hear that teacher on Charlie Brown going, wah, 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 wah. I've told you a million times, I'm probably not for the Raw is Law crowd. So, you know, take that however you want to take it. But for me personally, I take all kind of various information and I extrapolate that and use that and adapt that to my raw lifestyle. But as I'll tell you over and over, and probably a lot of the raw people just won't come out and say it, is I'm not a fanatic about eating 100% raw. You know, I eat mostly raw. Like over the weekend, I think, what did I eat cooked? Maybe 2 sweet potatoes. But it is what it is. And another thing too I want to say is stop focusing. If you want to be successful and actually healthy on this lifestyle, stop focusing so damn much on recipes. What's the recipe to this? What's the recipe to that? And start focusing on your health, focusing on the nutrition in the food that you're getting. Because a lot of the times, like especially with my salads, the actual salad is the nutrition. And the dressing is just kind of a nice little distraction to make it more palatable, but don't go overboard on that. And another thing too, I've got my trusty notes down here. It's about your palate. Your taste is going to change. A lot of times when people talk about they have issues, you know, like I can't give up eating something or whatever, that's because your gut biome is actually designed for that right now, because that's the way you've been eating. And your gut biome, even though there's a lot of food that is not optimal, not good at all for it, it will adapt, and your microbiome will switch over to that. And I'm not going to get too technical here because I'm not the most scientist guy in the world. One thing it was talking about too is a lot of times when it comes to certain issues, and this is where you have to be real for yourself, the raw vegetables are not always the best for the stomach, especially if you've got certain digestive issues like Crohn's, UC, gastritis, irritable bowel syndrome. Sometimes those take a little bit more than, just eat some more fruit, man. As long as we eat enough fruit, that will take care of everything. And a lot of these foods are hard to digest because and that's another reason to maybe consider, instead of the drastic, going from a standard American diet to very, very clean and very, very raw and all that overnight, that's where that bloating comes from. And so many people, like, think about it. If you've ever been in a Facebook group or if you've read comments, how many times have you seen somebody complain, I've switched to a raw diet, or I've switched even to a whole food plant-based diet, just to a whole food plant-based diet, and I'm getting all this bloating and whatever. Well, it's like I've mentioned in a recent video, it's about that fiber, and your gut biome is not ready for that much fiber. It takes a while for your gut biome to change over and get used to these things. That's why, and he said something, and some of my notes I took directly from that talk, and I'm always talking about the smoothies, and that's why I'm always pushing the smoothies. Actually, that mine is just kind of instinctual. I just like the green smoothies. It's a way to get that nutrition in. But he even said that the new smoothies are a great way to deliver nutrients you need, but have a hard time digesting. So that's with all that kale. Now, if you ate as much kale as I put in those smoothies, a lot of people would have problems with it. And once again, I'm not trying to tell you, like, you really need to dig a little bit more if you actually have colitis or ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. But like, I remember the summer before last when Amanda came to see me, she had dealt with that. And, you know, she talked about that for a certain period. It was about smoothies. It was about juices. It was about getting those nutrients in until like the gut settled down a little bit. And also too, and this is where I'm talking about how the connection comes in, where you're always like, oh, but I have a craving for this, I have a craving for that, because our gut biome affects our taste buds. And that's probably why so many people can't get over their cravings, because they don't do the things. I want you to listen to this. This is a note I made, and I want you to listen to it. They don't do the things they need to do long enough to change their gut biome. How many people I can't tell you how many people over the last 10 years I've seen do something, you know, start off gung-ho, go real hard, do it for 2 or 3 weeks, try to do the hardest version of it, and then they fall off because they're not giving themselves enough time. They're not letting that gut biome change itself and get to where they can eat the things they need to eat. And for somebody out there that might be suffering from ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, like I say, I don't want to misspeak on any of that stuff, so this is just kind of projecting and my best guesses. But from what I've seen, and a few people that follow this lifestyle that I've known that have had those things, from what I've seen, once you kind of get your gut microbiome kind of settle down from that inflammation, and that's what you see in what Crohn's is, inflammation, or that's what UC is. I know UC and Crohn's are similar, but there are differences. But once you get that settled down, and once the gut microbiome starts to change, then it's not like you're never going to be able to eat some of those things. And in fact, Dr. B was talking about, like, you know, as your gut gets better, like purposely reintroducing those things into your system that you've had problems with digesting in the past. But like I say, that's why I'm saying, please, please, please don't look down your nose on that slower transition just because you want to be hard with this thing. Another thing too that can help with the gut, I always knew this was good for inflammation, but I didn't really think about it in relation to the gut, is turmeric. I've started adding, after a while of hearing about turmeric over and over, I just never made a point to use it. I've started adding turmeric into my daily routine. And very important, I mix black pepper with it. I always use black pepper with turmeric because it greatly boosts the absorption. I heard something the other day, it boosted like 2,000%, but I'm always skeptical of big numbers, but it definitely boosts it. And it helps with that inflammation. It helps with any other inflammation in the body. And just to finish, that's why I'm about to, probably within 30 minutes of after I'm finished with this video, I'm about to start getting my salad ready for the day. Bought some more stuff this morning. I am literally trying to get as many colors in my salads as possible, get as much variety in my day-to-day as possible. Different colored fruits, different colored vegetables. Go back and watch what I ate in a day video from Friday, and you will see the salad that I had there. I'm probably going to make that salad again, like have all those things in the salad again today, but adding things to it. We're going to add some red in there today. I've got a nice big red bell pepper that I'm looking at over on my table where I keep my stuff, and I've got a couple of beets. So I'm going to add some beets in there, and I will have Probably in the salad, if you don't want to go back and look at a video just to see a salad, I will have a big bed of red leaf lettuce, whole head of red leaf lettuce. I will have chopped purple cabbage. I will have broccoli slaw. I will have lentil sprouts. I will have a little bit of cucumber salad that's got red onion in there. I will have my red pepper, red bell pepper, and I'll have some beets in there. So that is so many different colors and things right there. And I'll tell you something, now that I'm back kind of into my groove, I'm even feeling better. You know, I didn't feel bad when I was having the tooth issues and not eating all the things that I normally do and doing the smoothies. But now that I'm back doing my regular routine again, I feel myself like coming, you know, more back to life. Whatever. I've got even some orange over there. I've got some nice Valencia oranges. I think I did some juice in that video that I'm going to have some orange juice. So just mix it up throughout the day. And I'll finish with this. Like I'm always saying, this is a process. This is about learning. This is about having an open mind. I was flashing back to that last year I was in Costa Rica living on the mountain. And I even remember going through periods there, and I probably did videos there where I talked about like, yeah, this month I'm just eating a few different things. And I kind of would go through periods where I focused too much, say, on monomeals and just eating just a few things. Like I remember I got on about a month or 2 month kick where I was having like maybe 2 different fruits during the day, lettuce. In other words, there was about 5, I was only eating for about 5 things. I change. We all change. As I always say, and I promise I'll finish with this, I'm always changing, always open, but I've got enough experience behind me now and I've learned enough. It's not going to be these huge changes. In other words, I'm not going to be here today and over here tomorrow. It's just about tweaking, adding things, learning knowledge, and doing some of these things like I do. If you find people that have really good information, listen to multiple podcasts of theirs. Try to consume as much information as possible. If you've got brain issues like me, sometimes you'll listen to the same podcast that's a good one, like a Rich Roll, over and over and over and over. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you here again midweek. Peace.